Tteokbokki, kimbap, and an assortment of fried dishes are just a few popular types of street food. But the restaurant School Food has added a high-end touch. Reporter Shin Se-min covered the restaurant for this week's Industry Insight.
Dish that inspired them, people dig them.
School Food is branching out from Korea and targeting the global market with delicious, mouth-watering dishes and a distinct interior decor. School Food opened up a branch in the United States in 2009 and now has stores in Japan, Indonesia, Thailand, Hong Kong, and other regions. The franchise now plans to branch out to other areas in Southeast Asia.
Arirang News.
A round of high-level talks between South and North Korea are supposed to be held sometime at the end of this month or in early November. The two sides are expected to discuss a resumption of reunions for families separated by the Korean War. Unification Ministry correspondent Hwang Sung-hee brought us the news. The South Korean government hopes that the South and the North will hold talks and recognize that the issue of separated families is an urgent matter that cannot be pushed back any longer. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Daniel Russell, during a visit to Seoul this week, said the United States supports the efforts on the part of the Republic of Korea to promote and enhance inter-Korean relations.
Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News.
Convenience stores are evolving and providing additional services. Reporter Kim Ji-yeon filled us in on the changes. Convenience stores are open 24 hours and provide snacks and light meals. But now they are beginning to sell underwear, flower bouquets, and electronic appliances like TVs, while some are even equipped with meeting rooms. It looks like convenience stores are trying to offer unique products and services to draw customers and profits in.
Arirang News.
Samsung Electronics announced its preliminary sales performance figures for the third quarter, and they were quite disappointing. Operating profits dropped around 60% on year to $3.8 billion US. This is the first time operating profits have slipped below $4.8 billion since 2011. Arirang TV reporter Kim Ji-yeon covered the story.
My story was on the sales performance of Samsung Electronics and their operating profits in the third quarter. And I was reporting on how their revenue, it dropped by more than half this quarter compared to the year earlier. And this is significant because Samsung Electronics is not only a global company that produces hardware and software, but also a lot of the Korean companies or Korean economy depends on this conglomerate, and it's one of the most representative company in Korea. So I thought that was a worthwhile story to pursue, and so that people from Korea or all over the world can know how they're doing and how is that going to impact their gadgets or their jobs.
On the morning of October 7th, Ji-yeon is busy as Samsung Electronics announced its operating profits for the third quarter of this year. She starts preparing her news report for the 12 o'clock newscast.
Mark, can I get into my article for a sec? I'm looking at it with 위원님.
She discusses which direction her report should go with the news director.
이게 메인 리즌이라서 4분기에도 픽업 soon 못할 것 같다고. So like recovery in the fourth quarter is not likely to happen anytime soon because
There's just 10 minutes left before the new newscast, and Ji-yeon is still editing the video. Will she be able to meet the deadline?
저 샌딩 중이야.
Kim Ji-yeon reports.
Samsung Electronics posted its worst earnings in 3 years for the July to September period, and they're not expected to recover anytime soon. Samsung says it's preparing new smartphone lineups featuring new materials and innovative designs. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
After completing her news report for the new newscast, Ji-yeon headed directly to Yeouido. She's here to meet an economic analyst to follow up on the operating profit report of Samsung Electronics in the third quarter.
In the morning for straight news, for 12 o'clock news, I mostly deal with facts, numbers, like the latest figures or what's new, because that's the latest figures and that's news. But in the afternoon, it's not news anymore, it's old data already. So I go out to interview a lot of people that can tell me why did something went up or down, or what are the main factors. So what's gonna happen now, like predict what's gonna happen in the fourth quarter or the next quarter or the next year, because economy is all about what happened in the past, how is the economy doing now, so, and where is this gonna carry us, or where is this gonna lead on. So that's why I go out and try to update my news for the 18 news package.
3분기 수익성 악화의 주요 원인에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
실적 악화의 주요 요인은 스마트폰 사업의 부진으로 볼 수가 있습니다. 특히 삼성이 애플하고의 경쟁에 좀 상당히 집착하고 그 사이에 중화권 업체들이란가 신흥국가의 각 로컬 업체들이 상당히 부상을 많이 했습니다. 그러면서 전 세계 스마트폰 시장이 지금 이제 절반 이상이 다 $200 이하의 중저가 시장으로 다 바뀌고 있거든요. 그래서 과거에 고가 폰에서 사실 영업이익률이 한 20% 이상이 나오고 중저가에서도 영업이익률 한 10% 근처에 그 이익을 내는 구조였거든요. 근데 이제는 어떻게 하면 이제 중저가에서는 더 이상 이제 이익을 못 내는 구조로 바뀌다 보니까 이게 이제 어떻게 하면 이제 계속해서 재고의 악순환이 생기고 그러면서 결국 스마트폰 사업이 이제 악화된 거고, 근데 삼성전자는 사실 스마트폰 사업이 악화가 되면 그 자체 내 스마트폰을 또 의존하는 사업들이 또 많이 있습니다. 뭐 OLED나 시스템 LSI, 비메모리 사업이라든가, 그래서 관련 사업들이 또 같이 다 적자를 좀 보고 있거든요.
그나마 그래도 이제 반도체에서 좀 만회를 했었는데 그 비중이 어느 정도라고 생각하는지 매출에 있어서.
이번에 3분기 영업이익이 이제 4조 1,000인데 그 부문별로 보면은 지금 반도체가 영업이익을 2조 1,000을 한 걸로 좀 예상이 되고요. 그리고 이제 IM 사업부, 휴대폰 사업부가 2조 원, 그 다음에 그 가전 사업부, C라고 합니다. 이쪽이 한 1,000억 정도 영업이익을 냈고, 그 다음에 디스플레이 쪽에서 한 1,000억 정도 적자를 낸 걸로 좀 추정되고 있습니다.
In addition to the performance analysis for the third quarter, Ji-yeon is curious about how the conglomerate can right the ship.
4분기 전망에 있어서 실적이 개선될 거라고 생각하시는지.
사실 지금 삼성전자의 실적을 전망하는 게 굉장히 좀 어렵습니다. 불투명합니다. 왜 그러냐면 사실 이번 분기에도 정상적으로 보면은 한 6조 원대는 영업이익이 나왔어야 되는데, 사실 이렇게 급격히 떨어지는 이유는 결국 스마트폰 사업이 안 되면서 거기에 막대한 그 마케팅 비용이 지금 들어가기 때문에 그렇습니다. 이제 이게 한두 모델을 바꿔서는 안 되고 전면적인 모델 라인업을 교체해야 된다라는 삼성이 그런 필요성을 느꼈습니다. 그래서 그 결실이 좀 보이려고 그러면 아무래도 내년 상반기 가야 될 것 같습니다.
인터뷰 너무 감사합니다. What was interesting is what's the fourth quarter or the next quarter findings? What does Samsung have to do in terms of what strategy do they have to pursue in terms of competing with the global smartphone makers? Those things I didn't know from their quarterly findings. And also, I wanted to check if it really was the dropping global market share. Is Samsung really losing its touch in terms of gadgets and these high-end smartphone in that market, in the premium market? And I wanted to know what's the story behind those numbers. And I thought, talking with the analyst, it made me draw a clear picture of why this tech giant is losing its footing.
그 잠깐 얘기를 하는 장면을 좀 찍어도 괜찮을까요?
The official interview has ended, but Ji-yeon still has a lot of unanswered questions.
그 스마트폰에 대해서 좀 여쭙고 싶은데 그쪽에는 좀 경쟁력이 있는 편인가요?
삼성이 사실 여전히 보면 애플하고 비교해 보면은 여전히 그 소프트웨어 경쟁력이 상당히 떨어집니다. 삼성 자체 스스로 지금 소프트웨어 인력을 굉장히 강화를 하고 있고, 그리고 언젠가는 구글이 지금은 공짜로 그 안드로이드 OS를 무료로 주잖아요. 하지만 언젠가는 구글이 거의 독점화됐다 싶으면은 그때부터 이제 로열티를 요구할 겁니다.
알겠습니다. 시간 내주셔서 너무 감사합니다.
Ji-yeon's now at the headquarters of Samsung Electronics.
저 도로 위에서 할까요?
좀만 더 뒤로.
뒤로야? 더?
뭐 때문에 전화?
네, 기사 때문에 삼성전자 서광기 대리님한테 전화 드렸어요. 한 10분간만 기자 출연하겠다고 뉴스 기사인데 서광기 홍보 대리님이요. 네.
She goes ahead and does her stand-up in front of Samsung headquarters after confirming permission.
To compete with the ever-evolving market.
The strict security and the din of traffic are not helping.
빨리요, 선배. And new materials. It also developed mid to low-end devices to compete in the ever-evolving market.
네가 여기서 이렇게 청각 그늘을
선배 빨리 주세요.
Ji-yeon starts to feel rushed.
Samsung says it's preparing for new smartphone lineups to compete in the ever-evolving market. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News. 한 번만 다시 할게요. Samsung says it's preparing for new smartphone lineups with innovative designs and new material. It's also developing mid to low-end devices to compete in the ever-evolving market. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
In this stand-up, what was really difficult for me is because I was distracted by the security of the company coming down and asking questions like once in 5 minutes. And normally I'm not that distracted. I've been trained to do a stand-up just in the middle of the parade or in front of a stage while the audience looks at me. But for some reason, I could feel that I was uncomfortable. It's mainly because I was distracted.
Ji-yeon returns to the office after collecting the materials for her news package. She begins preparing her report for the evening news right away. Ji-yeon's going to focus on the analysis of the operating profits for the third quarter and the outlook for the conglomerate. She's pushed for time, making her worry she might leave something out. Ji-yeon goes to a senior reporter for some advice.
설명을 해주고 나서 바로 전문가, 그러니까 사운드바이트이 좀 빨리 나오면 it's better for people to understand in a way. I mean, in the morning, the news is about Samsung's operating estimate, profit estimate, but then we are already like 6-7 hours.
제 스탠드업 보시면
Forecast.
그러니까 he didn't mention directly what Samsung should do from now on. 근데 중저가폰을 이제 아무래도 고가폰에 좀 의지를 했다가는 계속 이렇게 피해를 보니까 자기네들도 경쟁할 수 있는 중저가폰을 만들어야 된다는 걸 인식하고 있고
앞에 조금만 좀 이렇게 최대한 컴팩트하게 해서만 해주면 I think it's good.
I'll work on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I talk to a lot of reporters and senior colleagues when I'm writing the story because I believe that having a lot of ideas and their insight into incorporating their ideas is important because it sets a third view or a third point of view in terms of how to better deliver my story, how to make it concise as well as easy to understand. So I get a lot of help from a lot of people when I'm making a story, and I think it's very helpful. In the end, it's always better to have more than 1 or 2 people to look at the story.
Ji-yeon has edited her article following the advice of her senior, and she starts dubbing right away.
Samsung Electronics posted its worst earnings in 3 years for the July to September period. They're not expected to recover anytime soon. The analyst says the star performer was the chip business.
Now, Ji-yeon begins to edit the video in accordance to her report. But something seems to be wrong.
스탠드업을 삼성 본사 앞에서 했는데 지금
두 가지 버전을 제가 했거든요. 근데 하나는 너무 어색하고 왜 불안한 기색이 보이는 거 왜냐면 저쪽에서 security가 계속 허락을 받았는데 그쪽이랑 컨택이 안 돼서 자꾸 그럼 일단 찍지 말라고 막 이런 식으로 하고 근데 세팅되어 있는데 so I took two shots. I looked really nervous. And 하나는 여기서 괜찮았는데 materials라고 S를 빼먹은 거예요.
근데 왜 15초밖에 안 들어있지 클로징이랑?
그래가지고 I don't know which version to use or should I even use the stand-up at all.
She shows her stand-up to a senior reporter.
맞아.
I don't think the first one이 그렇게 저기하지는 않아. 그냥 I think it was how you felt that makes you look at it that way. I think it's fine.
그러면 첫 번째 걸로.
Yeah.
So much.
굳이 S 뺀 거랑.
네네.
Seeking out the perfect news package requires a lot of time and effort. And Ji-yeon works hard to record every single detail, and her coverage will continue.
Our Kim Ji-yeon has this report.
Samsung Electronics posted its worst quarterly earnings in 3
We will look forward to seeing her progress even more as a reporter.
Evolving market. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
There's a lot of studies indicating or showing that Samsung Electronics is merely a follower rather than a pioneer in one field. And I believe that Samsung could recover from this slump anytime soon when they foster an environment where free flow ideas could be born in their corporate environment. I believe that this company could quickly pick up its pace in the future.
Busan International Film Festival has recently kicked off, so we wanted to talk about something related to the Korean movie industry. And recently, the industry dominated by the big conglomerate, big companies, were kind of a big issue in Korea. So I decided to talk about this issue in upfront.
I mean, certainly if you're living in Korea, you become aware of these very big films that are released by these big, powerful companies. But as a film critic, I watch, a lot of other kinds of films as well. So I feel strongly that these films should also get a proper amount of attention and a proper opportunity, to screen in theaters for a decent period of time. And so I think this is a really important issue, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
꼭 어느 하나로 맞다, 틀리다 이렇게 토론을 내지 않고 서로 이제 각계 전문가들이 이렇게 의견을 또 제시하고 이런 식으로 좀 잘 했는데, 그러니까는 교수님께 생각 말씀해 주시면 됩니다. 네, 알겠습니다. 네네.
You send people.
I send people. Yes, you go cover the story. Yeah. And please feel free to jump in, attack each other. That's what we kind of want. But although I don't think it's gonna really happen because you guys all seem to agree on this issue. Could I introduce you as a film director? Yeah, is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say I'm like representing a filmmaker that is a victim of this this situation because I made a movie last year and it's kind of ironic because the movie did really well. It won an award and then it got sold to an American company and yet we had a simultaneous release with US and Korea.
All right, so are we good to go? Okay, I guess we are. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Upfront. I'm Kanteri. This week we're going to go in-depth and upfront on the oligopoly-dominated film industry here in Korea.
As a large conglomerate, it makes sense to invest a lot of money into one film.
Hollywood had the same system, when it started in the 20s. It was just a couple of rich people that started studios.
If you compare to most other industries around the world, there are few examples where you have so much concentrated power.
Thank you so much for coming in today for your insights and thoughts for us, for our viewers on Upfront. Thank you.
It was fun. The topic itself is more controversial, I would say. There's always something that I have to say about movies. Obviously, I watch movies, I go to theaters, and the guests today, they just really like to delve into the conversation. They really jumped into each other's sentences and cut each other out. I really like that. And I think that's the spirit of Upfront. So wish me luck in keeping up with this spirit.
I thought the other guests, Professor Park and Darcy Packett, were really good sort of conversationalists along with the host. So I was able to have a very good time just talking about things that I actually feel very passionate about. So thank you for inviting me to come and talk about the issues.